Welcome back to another episode. Got a lot on docket today. Um, you know, was honestly going to take probably take the time to talk about Michigan basketball, Michigan Pistons basketball, but we had a bombshell, some news hit earlier today. Sherrone Moore officially out as head coach from Michigan football team. Um, yeah, had an affair with the staffer, it sounds like. And now, yeah, we're middle of December, no head coach, and kind of scrambling. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. We'll kind of talk through some of the coaches that we think we'd like to see, coaches that we think they might go after. Um, and then yeah, we'll also talk about Lions got a great, good victory, good another bounce back victory. Against the Cowboys Thursday night. Tough little stretch there, like 3 games in 10 days, something like that. Um, but yeah, we'll talk about that, and then we'll talk about the big matchup going out to LA this weekend. After a little bit of a mini bye. But yeah, no, yeah, I'll kick it over to you to start, man. We just talk about Sherrone Moore and just kind of what happened there, and just kind of jump in.
Yeah, no, I think this is both something we both in like pre-production kind of reluctantly talked ourselves into talking about. It is too big of a story not to mention.
Yeah.
So I guess the biggest thing I would say is just overall shocking. Just you know, uh, uh, just take a couple of steps back here. He's been on the coaching staff for a while. We've seen him kind of grow through the ranks, and kind of end up where we are now. It's just kind of shocking. We all kind of were semi disappointed in the season, but we all had hope that hey, we got all these young boys coming back. We got a lot of great recruiting class coming in. It
Mhm.
was positive signs looking forward. We had a clear path for what success looked like under who was directing us, along with some of the key captains and components as far as players and things like that. So it for me, it's just kind of shocking. And I guess another thing I want to say is I, obviously from what I understand, there's no foul, no funny play, no foul play. It's just a guy having a relationship with a person within the staff. It doesn't seem like it was anything, me hashtag me too like or anything like that. So
Right, right, yeah.
somewhat positive signs you can point to. And
Mhm.
he won some big games for us on championship runs. So it's sad to see it all kind of come to a crashing, halting end like this. As far as I'm concerned, abruptly sideswiped. So kind of more or less at a loss for words. Don't really know how to put it other than just kind of shocking. Did not expect it to come to an end like this. I thoroughly thought he could be a guy that hoist another Big Ten championship for us, hoist another
Yeah.
national championship for us. And a guy I know when we hired, you can probably go back and look on here. I said, hey, I love this hire. He's been on the coaching staff. He's young. He could be here for 20 years.
Yeah.
Those are the type of things I was looking forward to. So just to mention that, and then I'm gonna throw it to you here, but and then we kind of pick yourself up by your bootstraps and figure out what we're gonna do from here. But that's kind of my wrap on just how shocking it all is.
Yeah, no, you don't. Yeah, I think that's a word. Yeah, that describes it best. It's shocking. I mean, obviously he's still kind of figuring it out as a head coach. A great recruiter, though. I mean, definitely, recruited a top 10 class. I think might even been top eight. Um, I think, yeah, the tough part is just like, I think we were all kind of feeling like next year was going to kind of be that step, kind of like, where you got, pretty young team, young freshman quarterback that has a lot of, high ceiling, has a lot of promise to where he thought he was going to take that step. He just hired that new, special teams coordinator. It really was just kind of, about to round out the staff and kind of get going towards 2026. And it just kind of all just came to an abrupt halt. Um, but yeah, no, we don't see, man. I think it's it's just unfortunate. The timing is bad. He signed this class. You don't know, nowadays, I mean, kids will, doesn't take much of them to kind of pop up and transfer to begin with. So now you kind of throw a wrench like this in here. This is where coaches from other schools that finish second and third start to call and follow up and reach out just to kind of see what they can do to
Yeah,
bring in.
just to make sure.
Yeah, hey, how's it going? I heard about what happened. Let me know if you want to talk. And then yeah, you never know. The next thing you know, you start seeing people hitting the portal. But I don't know. I'll be interested to see what happens. I think we're going like this next weekend. Now all of a sudden there's like implications. Um, I feel like now, yeah, I'm like kind of curious to see what schools lose because whatever schools lose, I mean, Bama loses, Kellen DeBoer, like I said up before you got on here, full court press. You got some of these schools that lose next couple of weeks, things will get interesting. Hoping they have something figured out by at least around Christmas or after.
Yeah. I think you mentioned DeBoer, and I think that's an interesting because you said he got thrust into the Bama job. Their expectations are through the roof.
Yeah.
They're I want to say it's in 48 Laws of Power, but they say never step into a great man's shoes. And that's kind of, and that's exactly what he did. As far as he could
Yeah.
bring him a championship. He could bring them a championship in a year or two, and it would still be too late for him. So it's one of those. I could see that, and not
Yeah.
and so I do think he's a fine coach, solid coach. I just pulled his record up. He's 56-16 in 6 years as a head coach. Um, I
Yeah, it's
think
not bad.
we're the biggest thing I would like to say about the scramble for a coach here is I don't want it to be too much of a scramble. As far as I don't want to panic and go get some splash hire some guy that has
Yeah.
no business getting pulled up from the ranks. Um, I think that could be more program disabling than if you stayed with, let's say, Biff Poggi for a year and then got the best round of coaches next time. I think that is not your first choice. I think your first choice is you trying to go steal a big name proven commodity from
Right.
a blue blood program. First name that pops out to me, two names that pop out to me, I'm just going to say them. Marcus Freeman, Notre Dame coach, and I'm not going to say the name I said earlier as a joke, but Marcus Freeman has a Notre Dame and then Danny Lanning from Oregon. I think that'd be more of a dream potentially. Like I think he's kind of why leave that situation. He's very cozy, not necessarily expected to win championships out at Oregon necessarily.
Yeah.
You get 10, 11, 12 in a Rose Bowl every couple of years, you're probably good. And then Marcus Freeman, I just think I like his ilk. I like his style. I like just how quickly he got that program up. Then they did shit the bed a couple times this year, but ultimately I think we are a better team than Notre Dame is, and just kind of mirroring those two things together would be interesting. But I think the last thing I want to do is just go scramble and hire so and so just to do it.
No, you're right.
That could completely derail the program more so than a couple of other things would. So, you're gonna have to drop some bread to get one of these guys away from one of these top flight teams. You're probably, I think what did Indiana coach just get? Like 89 million. So I think that's probably about the going rate. You probably gonna have to drop 70, 80 million over, 5, 6, 7 years on one of these guys.
Yeah, definitely gonna have to take a big swing. Like you said. I mean, I don't know. I think maybe it'll be something like if you don't get DeBoer, it's like, all right, Biff, like, let's just rock it out for a season.
Yeah.
And Biff is big, big culture guy. I think a lot of, I don't know, you see him on the, on the sidelines a couple times wearing the kids' chains, and he stepped in a couple times, and Sherrone was suspended this year. Sherrone had a hell of a
Yeah.
year, man. Good Lord, he don't had a hell of a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that maybe that'll be a move too if they just can't get DeBoer. And I don't know. Like, I mean, you hit on the head where like Bama, they pretty high pressure, so you can kind of get out of that environment. I mean, obviously the pressure will be pretty high here, but
Yeah, and I was going to say that because I don't want to talk too down upon us, but I think Alabama's expectations as of recent
it's
are
unreasonable.
unreasonable. Yeah, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Like
I
they
agree.
just came off of winning like 5 in like 11 years where,
Yeah,
we kind of came back to like, where
prominence.
yeah,
Mm-hmm.
prominence to where it's like, okay, now it's just a matter of like maintaining to where like with them, yeah, they just like they act like Saban's still walking around there and he's not.
Yes. So, it's just interesting. There's always the Signettis out there. But I think you just don't want to do it after the coaching cycle hire, and we just missed it by 10 days, 2 weeks. So I think because of that, you're gonna have to drop a big enough check that it pries somebody away from a very comfortable position.
Yeah.
And I think a couple of good things there. We don't need a roster overhaul. We don't need any of that. I think if you can get some structure to this quickly, you might not only not skip a beat, you might catch that same stride we were thinking we were going to have anyway, and we take that next step up to 11, 12 games in a college football champion playoff type role. So I don't know, man. I agree. It's tough. I agree about the Biff Poggi too, but I do think that's better than hiring somebody random. But there's a risk in that as well, because then it's kind of everybody's gonna say that he's just a placeholder, you know. I don't know. It's just put us in a
Yeah.
bad spot.
Yeah. I think if it was ended up being him, it had to be like interim. Like I don't know if they could pass the keys to Biff Poggi just because, you know, we didn't get somebody within like this time period. Um, but yeah, no, we'll see,
And I
man.
guess just give me two more minutes on this.
Yeah, go
Did
ahead.
you want to talk about the Jed Fish or
Yeah, I was
I know that was the first name you mentioned earlier, and then Jesse Minter was the other very interesting name.
I was just about to say Jared Fish. I mean, I was a guy that coached at Michigan in the past. I mean, even when Harbaugh left, I mean, I think here there's like whispers around his name because he was able to go to Arizona. You know, he had
Mm-hmm.
the dude Ted McMillan is playing in the league now, and they had a pretty nice team. I think they went like 9-3, 10-2. I mean, being Arizona, that's it's pretty successful season. So I think that's somebody, yeah, Washington looking okay, given they kind of was in the same spot as us, lost quite a bit of talent, after that national championship year. Um, and I think Minner would be one where he'd come down here for like 3 years and then get called back to like called right over to the NFL. Like, but I don't know. You never know. I mean, we'll see what happens. I think that'd be a lit one though. Like if he did come back, that'd be pretty cool. I feel like that might. I
Yeah,
mean, NFL job is an NFL job, but like head coach at Michigan, head coach of the Giants. Like, I don't know. NFL, I get it's an
no,
NFL
I
job.
agree
I'm
with you. I
just,
do agree with you on that,
you know what I'm saying? Like some of these
especially in this
franchises
predicament
kind
where
of
you're going to get, you'll probably get more
like,
money coaching at
yeah,
Michigan.
like
You
you,
probably get
you,
more.
you know,
Yeah,
you ain't about to coaching Cleveland. Like I think Michigan definitely a better job than coaching in
yeah,
Cleveland. Some of the opening that thing makes a difference too. Some
yeah,
of the
and I
openings
can
this season,
get, you know,
depending on who gets fired, that
no.
yeah, we'll see. It's
Hey,
gonna
but
get real.
Harbaugh just come back. I mean, let Harbaugh just come back, man.
Spin the block. He got a show cause. He got a cause too. He come back. He spin it for like a season off rip.
Bro,
We be around. We had Biff. He had Biff for a year off rip. It's crazy.
that's the plan right there. We're gonna sign Biff to a 2-year interim.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, man, but it's just in overall, man. You know, the life of a college football fan, man. You ride the roller coaster.
Yep.
You know, I'm be with them. I know we got the talent, and we always, I do think we are one of the bluest bloods in all of college football. So I, I might be biased towards how good of a job we have, but I think you look at top 3 roster in the Big Ten, particularly as you age them up another year or so, and then we're Michigan, top 10 recruiting class coming in. I mean, the writing's on the wall.
Hey, we get DeBoer, we get Ryan Williams,
Now you
Bryce.
talk, yeah.
We gonna see, man. I just one of my I just
And any
seeing
defensive player
something.
that Saban recruited,
Yeah.
still
I just
left on
seen
that
that somebody
roster.
said,
Yeah.
don't be shocked if DeBoer is a coach by this weekend. He might just say, fuck it, and like, I don't want to be at Bama no more. Let me go up here and kind of just get his own
That's
thing
interesting.
rolling. But yeah, we'll see in
No,
due time.
for sure. And yeah, I guess I'm just gonna say it. Looking at it, the more 56 and 16 in 6 years. Jeb Fish, 6 years also as a head coach, 31 and 33
Mm, okay.
for what it's worth.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good point. Yeah. I think it's more like the familiarity with Michigan than anything, but
no, for sure. About the same sample size. Interesting.
really interesting.
But yeah, no, I think you just go drop the bag and keep it moving, man. It's I just want to look up one more thing.
Okay.
It's taking forever. Okay, I'm just looking up Dan Lanning. Shit, he is.
Oh yeah.
46 and 7 as a head coach.
It's gonna get real interesting, man. I still can't wrap my mind around it. Like I would have never thought this would be the reason why. I thought when I saw a cause, I'm like, they must have pinned something else on the sign stealing. They must have just found some other more text messages or something. But I'm like, wow, when it was that, I'm like, geez.
No,
But
I agree right with you. He damn, Lanning just signed a fat ass contract back in
oh yeah, everybody
like a year ago.
called an agent like, until the school right now, I'll stay for.
No, he signed one in March.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like breaking news. I'm like, that's cool. I'm like,
No,
man.
he signed one in March, 6 years for 66.
Okay.
But yeah, no. Either way, we'll be here for more breaking news, and we got Michigan basketball at least to talk
Yeah,
about. And
for sure.
they boot stomping people. I seen a joke that said, "Put Michigan basketball into the college football playoff."
Hey,
But
for real.
no, so to kind of turn the page here, our Lions. I'll go ahead and jump out and apologize off rip. Yeah, I called them to lose, even though I do think I have a winning record when I call them to lose. So I might do that when we make the playoffs here. But no, we
did that for the first year and a half of this podcast.
it still didn't work.
That's when it wasn't working. We were right.
Yeah. But no, so good bounce back win versus the Cowboys. 44-30, maybe slightly less, maybe a little more closer than that than it really leads on. But either way, we were in control throughout that game. Just kind of, what are your thoughts on Cowboys coming to town and what all we've seen from the team and kind of handling that their receiver duo and their defense?
Yeah, team responded, man. And they came out. I think they played pretty soft against the Packers, especially on defense. They got pushed around a little bit. They got embarrassed. They ruined Thanksgiving again.
Ruined.
But yeah, no, I think they responded. I mean, I think AQM heard you on here like, we should have got a pass rusher in the draft. No, he went crazy. He got 3 sacks. Hutch had 11 pressures in the fourth. I mean, this is the stuff they just didn't do last week on Thanksgiving. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, obviously, we know, Packers, probably a little bit better team than Green. Well, I mean, they tied them, this year, and they played earlier this year. But yeah, and I think they just showed up. I mean, I was good. I'm loving what I'm seeing with J-Mo. I think he's starting to turn into slowly like wide receiver one. He's running a lot of different routes. He's looking more of like not so much a one trick pony anymore. I mean, some of the routes he's running is crazy. His yards with the catch is ridiculous. I mean, he's able to just kind of like sidestep people for like 4, 5, 6 yards. It's just nuts to me. Him and Gibbs, they just jump off the screen at you every time they touch the ball. St. Brown came in there, as Dan Campbell said, he laid it on the line, had the messed up ankle, came in there, went crazy. Goff stood in there pretty well. I think the unsung hero, Miles Frazier. Rookie came back, got thrown into the fire, was moving furniture. I think this could be something, the O-line can keep it together. They play a little bit here these next 2 to 3 weeks. We go 3-1. I think this might be something that can kind of like get us back on track for sure. So it was just a good all-around team win. I think Goff stood in there well. Handled the pressure pretty well, and they were able to keep him clean majority, for most part, and he was able to capitalize.
Yeah. No, I agree. You texted me about Frazier mid-game, and he definitely was standing out. I think that the offensive problem is just the offensive line not being as dominant as they have been in the past.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of stalling the offense out. and we're getting saved by Gibbs just being Superman, which he's going to do more than not, but he shouldn't have to. It's it seemed a lot easier last year and years prior where we would just offense seemed to be humming a little at a better clip.
Yeah.
So I think if that offensive line can start to gel, like you said, and particularly I thought gelling versus the Cowboys, which has a pretty stout defensive line. Maybe not top tier defense like the Cowboys, like the Packers or some of the other teams that we faced and lost to recently, but definitely a team that if we showed up with a lesser, showed up with the game plan like versus the Giants, we would have got kicked right in the mouth. So I think they held their own well enough, and just looking at some of the offense, you talk about JMO, his route running is tremendously better. I think, but when we first drafted him, he was more just like fades and nines, and then now that whole tree is open. And I don't think it was this game, but possibly it was when he had like a 22-yard comeback. And Goff just delivered it on the money. That was one he literally adjusted speeds to like another level where that corner dropped his hips where he thought he was taking off. And that would get any cornerback in the league, I think.
And he's scared to death to like get beat.
Probably get people worse than that. So I would say, those things are good, and just kind of get into the flow of things with where's the rushing stats here again? Yeah, Gibbs did not have the game he wanted, but Montgomery picked up on his end. I would still like to see us run the ball maybe slightly more healthy. It looks like we had like just over 100 yards, but it didn't seem to be needed in order to get it done. But just to stay with the bread and butter, I would have liked to pound the rock a little more. All in all, man, it's just we're in that weird limbo where we do one up, one down, one up, one down, one up, one down, and we got to break that curse and get a little bit of momentum. And this is not the week that you kind of want to have one of those on, because I think this is a pretty stout game. But heading into this Rams game, it's going to be steel sharpened steel. You're gonna be tested with one of the best of the best. They look hungry again. Stafford looks hungry again, like he wants another one. Their offense is stout, so you're gonna have to come and play your best game versus a team that is probably going to be in the mix in January, as far as it stopping you or helping or stopping you or potentially stopping you to get to the, deeper in the playoffs. So I think
Corum had $120 last week.
Yeah, he been looking.
They rolling.
Yeah,
they rolling for real.
And I seen he averaging a crazy amount of yards per rush in the last couple of weeks too.
You're getting going. You hit on the head. It's it's a tough little matchup. I think it's been interesting. We have been able to get the best of them these last couple of times. Like you said, the O line's not the same. I think their D line don't have Aaron Donald anymore, but they have drafted some guys that pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I like the guy Jared Verse quite a bit. I think he jumped off the screen like as a rookie that first game we played them, to start the season last year. Once again, see what we made of. I think they've been able to, I just think if that O line can just, be above average, and just give Goff like, half a second of time and just able to hold some in blocks. I think Montgomery looks look better. Run the, you know what I'm saying? Like I think if we're able to just like get some of these blocks for another half a second, quarter of a second, I think some stuff will really start to open up. Because we've been close. We've been about 3 St. Brown drops. We've been about 2 or 3 Goff throws into the dirt because he ain't got enough time. We couple JMO drops. Like might win the Packers game if JMO don't drop that 4th and 3. You know what I'm saying? Like there's just a lot of like things to where we're just right there. We just give Goff just enough time to hold up. We should be able to hang around for a little bit.
Yeah, I think we know who Goff is, where we have to expect to keep him up. You know, you
Yeah.
didn't, not that he's Manning, but you didn't expect Peyton Manning to drop the shoulder and roll out of pocket too many times. So you have to build the team around with the guy you got. And he's very serviceable if you can do that for him.
Yep.
And that's the key part to it. So in injecting that, whether it's Frazier now or, you know, throughout the draft or whatever, just that's the key to keep it going forward. But as far as this week here, I would say, you know, the game plan. It's heavy doses of the run. Feed them big boys up front, open the lineup. I think JMO is, like you said, just a lethal weapon. I was going to shout out and say Waterbug when you were talking. That's what it reminds me of. Just you give him the ball in his hand, I literally anytime that ball touches his palms, I think he can go.
Yeah.
And there's not too many players in the league that you feel that way about. And we got two of them on our 11 every time we step out.
Yeah.
And that's not disrespect to the other guys that are very solid. But St. Brown, I think St. Brown is just beat up. You mentioned it last week, and just a product of 160 targets for the last 5 years over the middle,
1,400 yards,
and
dig routes.
Yeah, so I think we are playing in that desperation mode as well. But also, if he needs a week or two to get healthy in order to win, maybe that might be best as well for the long-term success. So we got to kind of figure that out as well, where if he's going to be out there kind of hobbled and, you know, yeah, I don't know, but he looked fine last week. It's just a matter of, you know, not staying up for when it matters.
Mini bye came just in time.
Yes. And just looking at Stafford this year, I mean, 35 touchdowns, 4 picks. The dude his arm is still alive this year. So I think defensively, he's going to apply a lot of pressure downfield like he always does. I mean, he's a gunslinger. He's going to force the issue. There's probably never been a better quarterback in the history of the league better at forcing the ball to his guys. It's right now.
Yeah.
Like what he does. He got one receiver out there. That dude's having 20 targets and 17 catches. And so you know that about him. But you also know, love him to death, but you can get that ball away from him once or twice.
Mm-hmm.
He's the grandfather to him, but he's in that Baker field. He's in that, you know, in the Jameis land where they get excited. They start feeling themselves. They get excited. They force him a couple of times works. They force it that third time. We got to capitalize when the ball's out there. You know, that's this time you miss a Kirby Joseph, miss a Brian Branch. We haven't brought that up yet.
Yeah.
But you know, the guys we do roll out there, just when that ball hits your palms, you got to capitalize and get that offense more possessions.
Yeah. And I'll say too, I think we got guys like Rocky Sin's been playing well. I think Avonte Maddox will step in for Branch, and I think he'll do okay. Detroit kid. Meek Robertson's been a little bit up and down. Hope that DJ Reed can kind of do his thing. We paid him for it, just kind of shut down a part of the field. And then, we can hope we can kind of piece enough together. Because I'll just say this secondary ain't as bad as what it was when we see him in the playoffs that first year. Obviously, the offensive little, but I think we are a little bit more built to. Adams is good. He definitely a little bit older, but like we know what Puka is. I think we should be able to at least hang around there on defense. I think as long as we can score some points, I think we'll be in good shape to steal a W.
Yeah, for sure. And I, not to derail the conversation too much, but thoughts on what your record would have to look like do you think you have to get this to make the playoffs?
I don't think you got to get this one, but I think you got to win out after. I think this one is I think you can get in at 11-6. But I think with that,
one more loss.
Yep. And I think possibly playing, got to beat Chicago to get in, for sure.
Yeah. Yep. No, I tend to agree with you, and it's just tough because we got to break that the back and forth. We got to break that. Win loss. Even though that's just like Halloween. So,
and probably like under 30 seconds
before
like we score prediction.
No, for sure. I don't want to do it to us, but I'm gonna do it. Hopefully we still win, but I'm gonna go 31-27 or 27-31. Lions lose.
Okay, I think I think it's just their turn to get us. We got them the last couple times. I'm not gonna pick us to lose. I'm gonna say 31-26 Lions.